forced to chase and over-aggress because you've got Yang depletion hugging your back for the 4-minute timer of doom. As OUG start looting up. No purples off of the rip for them. TRG, on the other hand, immediately purple armor onto the Tessa. I wonder if the next time we see the perspective swap, that will have been ferried over to the Viper.
Off spawn, I like to say, whoever gets the armor, it's all about that timing. We see OUG almost dive in, collapsing and getting that 3v1, and now WFZ trying to take the space with the purple armor, still has his gold F, still has his ultimate. He's looking to line up the perfect ultimate. Unfortunately, OUG's SS already gets that ultimate off. Moonlight does get a parry on the side. Wuxin already down to 1 HP, but that Tessa ult coming online, and now SS cleaning up the party. WFZ a little bit slow on the trigger, doesn't get his ultimate out even though he has the armor to create it. Timing is everything off spawn, and aggression, and you see OUG pick them apart with that timing attack. And like I said, timing is everything. We already see EWG looking for this timing attack, seeing if this team is fighting. Unfortunately, they missed the window. OUG already posted up, already looted up, and divoting up that soul bloom to fight off any type of timings going off. Now WBG and Wolves scrapping off full blue armor onto Wolves. Pole sword coming out, and on the ice pick, Justina does have ultimate. What can she do? ZK looks for the first dash, gets an LMB, second dash, one more dash to his names, going through, doesn't get any more, but it has Axio in a juggle. Moonbane is going to be invested. Wolves now stuck in a Temi ult and a Moonbane. Tough position to be. They do get that first kill, but can they survive this Temi situation? Sleepwalker takes a pole sword to the back, and even inside this Moonbane, Wolves are able to clean up this fight. The triple blue armor, just too much. The burst from the ice pick, the speed and violence from ZK on the zipping is just too much for them to bear.
And they get money spot now as well. Like, that's why Wolves committed so much to that fight. Because they wanted money spots to be able to properly afford going to the dealers and rolling for those soul jades, as 521's Yin throws out 1v1. Doesn't manage to find any connection as everyone from BBE tries to take cover inside. Gorgeous conversion from the Dragon Slayers into the Nezhas coming on out from Pampy and TRIOS. That is absolutely brutal. Immediately getting that golden focus and just collapsing and cleaving onto all of the players in the area. As the second iteration of the Tessa V1 will be able to lock down BBE's Aizen. And now it's poor old Snack who's gonna get chomped in two. As unfortunately, without teammates to be able to peel for him, he is not going to last very long, as OUG now rolls up onto the scene. They come in for that third party. They're playing the Viper variety just like we talked about, waiting for some of these fights to be finished, and then trying to collapse onto the teams left behind. Wuchen TP immediately repositioning 521, but I think OUG got a whiff of where they teleported to. 521's Pampy now coming on in with the Viper V3. Both of these Vipers getting the Viper V3 at the same time, which means both of them are going to be silenced. And as a result, we have a little bit of a stalemate for 5 seconds before the tethers snap, and we go right back into that 3 versus 3 action. Jinyu is going to fall 521's unique with the pulse of getting the cleave onto 2 players of OUG. Yu is able to get the teleport off in time. We'll be able to potentially pick up one of his players. It's going to have to be incredibly quick, however, as 521 have been able to double speed the res, as they had 2 plays to stick as opposed to 1. The brilliant news for OUG, however, Raven, is that EWG saw that fight going down and came to third party, and 521 were out in the open on the low ground, so they turn on to them, and OUG get away with murder.
Oh my goodness. This is why Yu is the GOAT of Wuchen's. Now, you notice that OUG chased them through that tunnel, so there's no way that portal was set up previously in that fight. Yu knows every time in mid-fight he's able to use his F3 to kind of skyrocket himself, and he always plays perfect ports down. Recognizes in a split decision situation that if things go bad, where is he going to put his team? And he manages to bail OUG out of an unlikely situation where they lose. Now they're going to be scrapping off with EWG, and they do have a Moonbane. And Cliffside, where can EWBG go? Going straight up is going to lead to more hot breath. They try to make their way through this, but a big parry coming out from you. Moonbane activating. XJ trying to get out of there. What can he do? But the Wu Chen port is going to come out, but the Tessa ult reveals where they went. Is OUG going to maintain their aggression? They are. EWG's 14 on the Tessa. Needs to build off his ultimate to peel for his team, but SS already hot on the heel, releasing the LMB. Focus fading out, looking for the flank onto the Wu Chen. Wu Chen down to 1 HP, but Sinew on OUG. The Viper down to 1 HP, getting taken down again. And a 5-2-1 coming back with the vengeance. Doesn't want to give this up for free. The non-stop third partying in mine is going crazy. The V3 going to be invested. EWG trying to run away. 5-2-1's Yin throwing the V2 out. Doesn't matter. They're indiscriminate of who they want to kill. EWG, OUG, it doesn't matter. They're just finding all the kills. You trying to make his way out of there. Back to the Moonbane. 2 seconds left. Using his F2 to fly up. But Pampy with the grapple kit. Where you going, you? Misses the LMB setup. But you, again, he snuck his port up. He's able to get across the cliff. Did he break line of sight in time? It looks like 5-2-1 is still hot on his heels. He looks back. Unfortunately, they are going to be chasing him down. Oh my goodness, mine was going crazy, Moxie.
I mean, yeah, mine was the only place that existed on Horror's Isle for a straight 5 minutes. As WBG are going to be able to find the picks onto Bauger. Bauger just holding in position with the purple on that staff. Able to scoop everyone up and hold them still for WBG to be able to finish off the damage. It does look like OUG's U has been able to keep the chase going a little bit longer, considering he has not fallen to the likes of EWG on the side. As WBG picking up those kills, do equip themselves to have those soul blooms and take the realm of Yang with that side insurance as Wolves out in the zone. Rolling for Jades in an area where other players aren't going to be able to immediately cruise on top of that dealer and pick up the scraps that they leave behind. OUG still going to be out on the wider maps. I'm looking to... Wait. They've got souls. Okay. I was going to say, has OUG's been able to get one of his players up? But no. OUG in soul form are moving up to respawn into a soul ult. It looks like they've chosen Celestra. You is scouting out to make sure that it is going to be safe for them to be able to commit to that resurrection. Unfortunately for him, he might just run into TE before his team are in position or looted up to be able to help him out. And I think he scouted the team and immediately diverted away Raven. He does not want any of that smoke as TE instead turn their sights onto a realm of Yang. As WBG start gravitating towards the closest one to them as well. JDG's PP, it does look like, is the last remaining player for his team. So he is stuck currently between Wolves and EWG right in the middle of that Realm of Yang entrance too, so he's going to have to be incredibly wary of his pathing. As we are going to have those first portals come through. I don't think we're going to have any team immediately put on top of one though. Oh, well, KLA go in. They've only got blue armor. This is not the play that we usually see from teams that have blue armor even. Normally we have them being incredibly patient and trying to wait so that they can get that third portal and go against a team that's just as unequipped as they are. But KLA with confidence just decide to dive straight on through.
Now, well, what I've noticed about today, this nighttime day, we started game one a little bit slow. Everyone's already just heated up and they're willing to slug it out. That mine fight was absolutely crazy, but that's how you have to play with this new rule set. You can't really sit back and let teams run away, and that's what I was hoping for, that teams were going to adjust and actually take the fight to these top 5 teams. Don't let them run away with it. Don't shy away. Cut them down early, and now we're going to get a great fight versus 2 Titan teams, KLA and JL. CXZ on the Yoda with the purple staff, looking for the opener, but F2's going to push her away. She needs to connect to her primary target. Looks like they're going for the U shot initially, and the jabbing just blows her up and takes her out of nowhere. She doesn't even notice. No ultimate to her name. The cardinal sin of Baige, dying with ultimate, dying for free. But to be fair, that jabbing just came nowhere and blew her up. Now 17S trying to salvage the situation. F3 is going to be sent out, but TXG hot on his heels with the Faria ult poking, helping him in neutral right now. This is just a formality. JL, the OGs, VVV and TXJ putting the league on notice. You guys just copied us. We're the OGs. We know how to play this, and they make it look so easy.
Oh, that's a legendary staff for jabbing. Ah.
Legendary staff jabbing is a thing of legends, Moxie.
I mean, quite literally.
Gold jabbing.
Oh, this is terrifying. So jabbing is one of those soul jades that changes the attack, but unlike other soul jades that change the attack, jabbing does not have any visual cue that it's going to change the attack. And as a result, when you enter into a fight with someone who has a staff equipped, at this level, you sort of have to play 50-50 on whether they have jabbing or not. And if you get baited into rolling the dice and it landing wrong and you powering at the wrong time, well, you're very much going to be regretting that decision. And probably going to be sitting and ruminating on it a while because you'll very quickly be back in lobby waiting for the next match with a legendary staff doing jabbing levels damage. As that 5-1 immediately going to be taking a fight down in Junction onto EWG. That is an incredibly low 14 who does now fall. Yin with the fan RMB going to be able to position himself on top of that body, get the soul bloom, get the full heal, and immediately keep up the pressure onto EWG's 9. And that's really unlucky for them because I think they wanted their Wu Chen to try and set up a poor play and carry out some of these bodies. Taking the fight below in Junction does mean it's harder for Wolves to spot, and as a result, I don't know if Wolves have realized that there is a team directly below them. ZK is definitely about to find out. He's going to see that body. He's going to know that teams have been here, but he doesn't know whether or not they're still in the area. So the howl goes out, reinforcements come through. Wolves fully group, but they are entirely unaware, even, of 5-2-1's position. And this is one of the reasons why Junction is one of my favorite pathing routes when you hot drop, because you get so much good loot and you can take a fight and no one gets to see that it's going on. As opposed to on the item map here where TE and JL have to find these kills fast, otherwise they risk getting third partied. Han immediately going to be coming in with that Takeda ultimate. We're going to see the Kurumi V2 getting to just keep everyone healed on up, but JL's TXJ with the Yoto V3 and the stagger knockback on the connections, smacking everyone outside of the AoE, jabbing on that legendary staff, doing so much damage, and there is absolutely nothing that TE can do but watch as the wings of Vermilion Bird's Might are ripped off their back and they're sent running to the Soul Altar.
Ah, the salty run back of former teammates. That has to feel good for the two teammates to go at it, letting them know, what's up, guys? Good to see you guys. See you at the next altar. Get out of here. JL, VBV, and TXJ putting their former teammates into the dirt. Now we're going to get OUG's Shinyu with the F3, nuking down Pampi. Now 5-2-1's they've been popping off. BBE was at the top, and now 5-2-1 is nearing the top 5, but I spoke a little bit too soon. OUG is going to cut the legs around them. Unique does have a situation here where he can bring this back for his teammates. Two players on OUG are really low. He does have velocity, unable to find the opener. SS is able to close that out, get that parry onto the velocity, and take this one in the bag. Oh, I wanted to say that 5-2-1s, they're going crazy. They got 10 kills. They can get there. They just need to slow down. But unfortunately, they run into OUG. OUG is able to extract their vengeance from all of that off-spawn play that they were going for. Now back to JL, the OGs of Cannonball. VBB with that F3 Faria. Really set the bar high on what it takes to play that F3 Faria. BB leading the charge up. KLA's CXZ trying to take this to a bad terrain situation. Lots of buildings, lots of line of sight. It's going to limit how much effectiveness Faria can do. KLA doesn't want to take this fight because none of them have ultimate, but JL sense a little bit weakness, senses something is off, but they just want to, it looks like JL's down to just push them off, set up their buying for this next gen, and hopefully we get another wonderful fight from JL. I'm hoping for them to run against one of these Siphon teams with Kurumi to show how Cannonball may deal with that. Wolves with the full blue armor, having a very strong off spawn. That Justina composition, wanting to hunt down all of the Vipers in the lobby. I don't think you really want to hunt down this OUG Viper team now. They did get cut down in that previous endgame, but again, they're early, they're mid, their Yang situations, their rotations are just so on point. They're so consistent now with you. up to 8 kills at 42.8. Now, they did start the day with 20 points, like you were saying earlier. So they did have a very solid lead. And we're seeing TE. I'm really happy for these guys. They said that everyone was putting them down, saying that they lost the true champions of the team, and they're showing up big today, continuing that consistent plays. Even though they don't have like 10 kills, they are on the Kurumi variation of Siphon, and that team composition becomes stronger and stronger as the games go on. Now we're going to see WBG versus JDG. Looks like WBG does have the buffs. Simon's going to go down on PB8. Temi also going to be invested. Kiki on the Justina needs to create a lot of space for his teammates. Cavalry Bloom on top of that. They're focusing on the zipping. Axios trying to get out of here, but he can't get away. The Yoda ult's going to be invested. She's moving. She's grooving with the nunchucks, but there's so much damage going on to her. Nice dash coming down from Kiki to solidify the kill into the support. Now Cavalry Bloom's coming out, faking out WBG Sleepwalker, getting the parry bait, and now Baige and Sleepwalker in a tough position with a Yushan ult still up. Can he bring this back? No shoves to Takeda's name. Looks like JDG is going to be able to get a soft reset here, but Sleepwalker is going to be able to pick up kill. We're going down to a 2v2. It's coming down to the wire. Will WBG be able to clutch his big parry down going on to Kiki? He does take him down in a parry on the scale rush. WBG is able to turn it around. Oh my goodness.
Oh, but the third party!
With the third party. Oh no, Boxy.
Wolves, they come in with their own Justina V1. They get the immediate freeze connection onto WBG's Baige, who thankfully, off of the rage and winning that 2v2, is able to come back in with a Takeda ultimate and try and peel for his team. Smolch ultimate invested as well. Wolves will be able to lock down Baige off of that one. And it does look like maybe one of the players from WBG makes it out. Yes, the Tumult immediately drops the ultimate and just dips straight out as Wolves and JL now go head to head. ZK without that ultimate is going to be vulnerable. We're going to see the Dragon's Roar trying to cover for this Justina, as well as a nice little armor drop and trade from his teammate, so that he survives if JL decides to turn onto him. Unfortunately for WBG Sleepwalker, however, he is being hunted down by OUG to Mulch F. Now going to be invested as a result. It comes out early. He isn't able to use it to iframe the Tessa V1. That is going to be Sleepwalker saying goodnight. WBG taking a bow and exiting stage left, as JL have been able to successfully third-party Wolves. WBG may have lost the fight against Wolves, but they forced enough ultimates out that JL were able to get the immediate third-party comeuppance and go for the punishment onto that Justina.
That's the great part about the blue buff. When you're rotating around, you can easily find a nice third-party situation. But first, OUG versus KLA. Also going to be invested. Yoda ult from CXZ trying to get Shinyu down. The Stefaria ult is just juggling Shinyu. He does manage to get a port out for his team. OUG chilling now, gonna get a full armor reset. They do switch the armor over, but Shinyu, what can he do? He doesn't get away. The Yushan slam does come in, tap dodge roll, not able to dodge it. That long range Feria mortar shots coming in hot. Now the F3 from long range. Can OUG clutch this? We saw WBG able to bring down a 2v3. Can you do it? He does get parried from max range. SS with the F with a nice peel coming out for him. 17S needs to stop the next parry. He's able to stop it, but his teammate is going to go down. 2v2 situation. Mushroom out. They're in zone. Their health is ticking away. They have to take some risk right now. OUG is going to get juggled. And it looks like KLA is going to slow down OUG's roll again. OUG up to 10 kills, and KLA on the board with 8, keeping their full 3 members alive, transitioning this endgame. Only 15 people alive. These nighttime Firefly games are just full of non-stop action, non-stop aggression. And we have JL. Let's see. Every time I'm watching JL, I always learn something new. These guys have the cleanest execution, and Cannonball, one of the hardest execution compositions in the game right now. TXJ with that gold jabbing spots EWG's XG trying to rotate in the zone, cuts off his retreat, and EWG's actually realizes we're not getting away. We're not giving up the skill. We're going in the zone.
Well, TE might be going in a body bag if KLA are able to win this fight against them. CXZ Did just burn a lot of that Yoto ultimate though. Cancels it early to try and hold on to as much rate as possible. Windspite, the legendary Soul Jade on the fan, is shown to be in that pocket as TE's hand gets hit by that bow. Comes on through. Looks like it's target lock attached to that one as well. As he is going to get the Karumi Tether to try and use the damage reduction to keep the Takeda up through all of the attention going on onto him. He does have a bounty on top of his head too, so they are going to be able to reverse bounty the team that one is attached to. Looks like it might be JL, one of JL's players that TE have picked that bounty up on too. They have to be very, very careful that they do not get third parties, as we can have a look and see how this Realm of Yang went down. Han with the fan and that Karumi Tether comes in with the F. Oh, really nice movement on the fans to be able to avoid the lockdown attempts coming on through from BBE's Roy He. Comes on in, just managing to control all of the space. Does get hit into the Nezhaz from behind, and as a result scooped up into all of that cleave damage. But the Karumi V2 will keep everyone topped on up. Takeda ultimate shoves now both being exchanged from these Takedas. TE's hand trying to use them to knock back some of these players of BBE, as we are going to see Han just trying to back on out, gets grabbed back in by one last Fear and Shove, comes back around with the fan charged RMB to find the damage and opening for the rest of his team. Martial Art Jade as well to be able to lock down and clean up that last kill. And that is how TE were able to win their Realm of Yang and pick themselves up a buff as a KLA for what looks like, well, absolute free. We'll be able to get that Morris Blessing. Everyone deterred by the Moonbane directly in front of it. CXZ, just in case, drops the Yoto F2, and oh, it's the Flamer. Raven, this is the first time we're getting to see a Flamer today, and these are absolutely crucial for a lot of these teams' macro plans in terms of deciding the tempo of those final fights. We talk about Cannon doing a lot to referee teams' positions and force ultimates from the other sides around them, but Flamer is absolutely brutal because it comes with that fire tick already well in it. You don't have to sacrifice the Soul Jade slot to be able to roll Rupture Gale and Flame Breath. And it also means that a lot of the time when you're faced against that Flamer, you decide to tap dodge into corruption damage as opposed to towards the giant Flamer that's going to be chunking your health bar down at an incredibly very fast pace.
Yeah, there's nothing like some nice barbecue Faria, smoking her out. She goes in the mech. She thinks she's some big shot. But when you put that flame on top of her, burning that white health. Now, when you actually flamethrower Faria, it goes through the actual armor of the mech and burns her health directly. That's why Jade's like Rupture Gale with its burn is so effective in these end games, denying that Faria space that's created. And we're seeing DRG on the Ballista controlling this space. Everyone's kind of moving in. Now, this Ballista seems really menacingly, but its line of sight is really, really limited. You have to just, like, kind of go out in the open to actually be hitting. We're seeing every single team in the blind side. JL making their way up super stacked with the jabbing, but everyone doesn't want to leave the line of sight of this tower, and we're seeing everyone scale rush around it. DRG holding the top perfectly, not letting anyone up. It looks like everyone's content for waiting until this is no longer in play. We're seeing that endgame Moonbane, the paid actor, just forcing everyone into an interesting decision. Such little space here. It takes up like 80% of the endgame zone. ZK doesn't have armors to a name, but these platforms on the tower, really great to kite on. Really great to find positions, to find some space, to low-key get some heals, even as a duo.
Wait, DRG?
It's tower.
Off of the front of the Ballista, they're getting Morris. No one can walk out because Morris, it didn't spawn on blind side of Ballista, it spawned directly in front of it. So they have two players stuck on top of Ballista to make sure that they can hold on to that pressure and no one gets grappled off of it. And then they send their third to open box for free.
17S is getting juggled by the Moonbane. Oh, just pure chaos because of this Moonbane, forcing everyone to ultimates. Faria ult's gonna be invested already. Ideally, you want that going to Yoda, but KLA's 17S acting as a mini Ballista on the low ground. JL doing their best to fight back, use their Faria as well. to create some space, but the line of sight angles here, there's just nowhere to go. 15 people alive, not like the initial 24, but still very, very congested because of this ballista. DRG is letting everyone know, if you leave here, we're going to be lighting you up. KLA 17S with the F2 pushes him off. Dreadful Whale coming out, and everyone is finally rotating out, and we're going to get a juicy endgame with 2 cannonballs and a siphon, Moxie.
Oh, they find Wolves that K. I don't think anyone's found EWG's last player yet. They were hiding inside a purple bush the entire duration, as TE are also taking a lot of pressure. KLA have spotted that they're incredibly low and also incredibly close with their backs to the zone, so if they get collapsed upon by 2 sides, there is nowhere for them to go. So that is going to be a Karumi ultimate invested for them to be able to sit on top of and recover, as DRG, off of controlling that Morris, will have been able to pick themselves up legendary armor. TE's Han, does he have Merciless Havoc? We're not seeing it being thrown out just yet. Wolves hiding inside a purple bush, considering they've just down to 1 player, as EWG's last remaining Viper tries to go down with a kill, looking to try and use that Viper V3 and the damage reduction to live as long as possible and maybe take someone down with them. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do it, as KLA comes in with a huge Yoto F2, connecting onto JL and forcing TXJ to immediately jump into that Farrier mech and try and get the cannonball shots off first to be able to stagger the opposite Farrier mech out. TXJ doesn't manage to find the connection onto CXC in time, though, and he's the one who's able to knock back TXJ and force him into full reset mode, as KLA start really policing everyone's tempo around them. Viper V3 now comes on through from DRG. Wujin getting aggressive with that spear, trying to translate it into a couple of kills, as we do see the Takeda ultimate immediately come through, since you can still throw those Furin shoves out. JL's VVV going to be trying to go for a little bit of spacing play to buy TXJ any sort of movement alongside that Yoto ultimate. Will be able to use the teleports to reposition his way, and Feng, transformed up into that Yushan Terracotta Warrior, is also trying to provide any sort of space for his Yoda to be able to recover from. No! TXJ from across the map gets hit by the scatter shot from Wolves, isn't able to hop into the Farrier mech that JL tried to provide as peel, and VVV is forced to take it himself instead. DRG's Moonlight still putting pressure onto all of these players. JL's Fang going incredibly low as well. Zone's about to collapse on up. We still have 12 players currently alive. Wolves still down to 1 last player, but JL currently sitting on 10 kills. KLA on the double digits as well. The difference is they've got 2 players alive. I say that, 1 player alive suddenly. And JL also with 1 player currently, as DRG's Wushin with that Phantom Step tries to put himself into a position to come in with that Viper V3. The sounds connecting onto poor old TE's Han. They have to follow up from WFZ, and there is absolutely nothing that Takeda can currently do. Karumi V2 comes on out as everyone tries to win heal off. Tumultuous Ultimate also invested inside the middle of that one, and PE off of the back of it. No way! They're able to get on top of the body and pull Han back into life. Is KLA. Just CXZ now has to face the full force of all 3 players of TE back to back. They might be the last team standing, as Wolves, the last player, that Yoto, is waiting for the opportune moment to come in with this ultimate. TE hasn't yet turned on to them. Now they see the grapple comes on through, the pulsar chase, the flamer starts to barbecue, and poor old Gem is forced into utilizing the teleports just to get out of it. Sits inside the corruption tick damage to avoid the flamer fire tick, but that's going to absolutely shred his health bar, and TE will be the last team standing. But I don't think they take overall MVP, Raven, given the fact that they only started off when Final Zone collapsed with 5 kills.